The women's 100-meter dash for the Rabat Diamond League is officially over, and I had to make it my business to pay attention because Shericka Jackson was on the starting line. Allow me to set the stage, because Shericka Jackson is one of the greatest sprinters of this entire generation. For that matter, you could make a good argument about all time. But when you come to this race, in Rabat, we really needed to see what she was going to bring to the table, because last year she got injured. So we didn't get to watch her perform at the Olympic Games, which, if you ask me, is actually criminal, because nobody in this generation is as good as she is in the 200-meter dash. That gold medal was going to her, as long as she was healthy and in top form. But here we are. And in Rabat, she lines up for a 100 against a field that, I could give you a bunch of names and, no shade. Shout out to the athletes who were there. But none of those names are athletes whom we have recognized in world championship finals or Olympic finals over the last 2 years, specifically in the 100. Shericka Jackson is the only one, so all eyes really had to be on her to see how she would perform against this field. A competitive field, but one she was supposed to win against. So when the gun goes off, Shericka Jackson actually gets off the block pretty well. And 50 meters in, I realized nobody was coming to catch her. She gets to the line and wins it pretty convincingly, all things considered, and runs 11.04 seconds with a positive 0.2 wind. If you look at her face when the race was over, she didn't even crack a smile. And the reason why I think she didn't is because she knows all she did in that race was what she was supposed to, which is take care of business. Because although this is a long season, there's a whole bunch of checkpoints along the way. And one of the checkpoints that she does have to hit is to beat that type of field, at the very least without great challenge, if you really want to be there at the Worlds, especially if she's going to double, because she very well might, in the 100 and the 200, and come away with medals, specifically gold ones, when you do it. Shericka Jackson, up until now, I know I've been accused of being pretty critical, and, well, in case people don't realize, the Diamond League, Continental Tour Gold, Grand Slam track, all of this is professional track. That's what it actually is. These are the races that actually pay you for showing up. The World Championships and the Olympic Games themselves, they're amazing products. That's what they are. And I understand that for now, they've been the pinnacle of the sport. But technically, those are actually amateur events. Just to clarify. And with that in mind, the races that the pros run actually matter. And Shericka Jackson has run races up until now. Her first Diamond League 200 this year wasn't a victory. And it was a field that she probably should have beaten if she were anything close to 100% of herself. Again, coming from my vantage point, from what I can tell, nobody in that field really had the talent to beat Shericka Jackson if she shows up as herself. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. At the World Relays, she ran an anchor leg, and in the final for the 4x1, she honestly didn't give a great performance either. So that put even more pressure or concern or interest, intrigue, whatever word you like, on this specific race in Rabat. Because remember, this is Shericka Jackson we're talking about. She is a part of the big three that Jamaica has. Just remember that the other two people in that big three are Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Elaine Thompson-Herah, who historically earned the title of being in a big anything by winning multiple gold medals on the Olympic stage. That is who Shericka Jackson is being compared to. The woman who is the second fastest 200-meter runner since Flojo, in a world where nobody runs that fast in the 200. Like under 21.5? Like, that's not a thing unless your name is Shericka Jackson. At least again, in this era. All of that being said, Shericka Jackson has now announced herself as, well, who we thought she was. Because although we're still in the month of May, and the World Championships are not going to go off till September, a whole bunch of things are going to happen between now and then. But you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. In other words, if you think about the greatest athletes, of which Shericka Jackson actually is, like she's one of the greats, when you pick against them, what you're really doing is you're assuming that they're not going to show up and do the types of things that only they can. Because there's nothing that you're going to do to beat one of the greats when they're on their game unless you are great. The only women in the landscape right now who are great enough to threaten Shericka Jackson, honestly, this is why when she's losing races to, again, a Navia Battle or anyone else, it's going to be a story. Because Kerry Richardson has shown us that she does have the talent to beat her technically, and she actually did. She's shown us that. Julian Alfred does have the talent to do it. But ironically, if I remember correctly, the way they faced off, if I remember correctly, it had never actually happened up until this year, early in the season, when they faced off in an outdoor 300. The only other woman who's on the table is Gabby Thomas. But if you're asking me whether Gabby Thomas in top form versus Shericka Jackson in top form, and yes, I'm going to use dumb idiot logic for a moment and think about the PRs. No, I don't necessarily believe that if that Shericka Jackson shows up, anybody is beating her. When Shericka Jackson shows up to a world championship final in the 200 meter dash, this statement is going to be true. Everybody else in that race is going to have to do something that they have never done if they actually want to win a gold medal. She's the only person when that gun goes off who just has to be herself. Because remember, her world championship races from 2022 and 2023 were faster than anybody who's in the field right now is capable of giving us. That is why I return back to the Paris Games. The moment where it felt somewhat like she got robbed. Like, yes, injuries are a part of the sport. But for people who are casual track fans, who don't really tap into the World Championships and only watch the games, as far as they are concerned, Gabby Thomas is the best woman in the world in the 200. And yes, she technically is, based off of what they saw. But for those of us who are following the sport throughout all of that time period between 2021 up to 2024, like 2022, 2023, it was Shericka Jackson. Like, it was her show, it was her race, and y'all were just out here competing against yourselves, not with her. Shericka Jackson, the 100 meter dash, has never been her, I guess, primary event. But when you get a world championship silver medal, we've got to take you seriously there as well. And you really can't run a fast 200 if you can't also run a fast 100. So now that she has won this race and done exactly what she was supposed to, I'm going to expect that to continue going forward, because I'll be paying attention anytime Shericka Jackson touches the starting line. But I'm also going to focus on the finish line, because everything about her history tells us that she, above almost anybody else, is supposed to get there first. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.